Today we're going to talk about monetary policy. There's two types of policy that falls under this. There's contractionary and expansionary. First, let's talk about contractionary. Contractionary policy is also called tight money policy. Actions that fall under this policy are selling securities, increasing the reserve ratio, and raising the discount rate in order to reduce spending and control inflation. Next is expansionary policy. This is also called easy money policy. Actions under this policy include buying securities, lowering the discount rate, and lowering the interest rate. This is so that they can make bank loans less expensive and more available, which will increase AD, output, and employment. Checkable deposits is any deposit in a commercial bank or thrift institution where a check may be written against it. This consists of more than half of the M1 money supply. Reserve requirement. This is the set minimum percentage of its checkable deposits that a bank must keep on deposit at the Federal Reserve Bank or hold as vault cash. To find the reserve requirement, you're going to multiply the reserve ratio by its checkable deposits. Excess reserves. This is when the bank's actual reserves surpass the bank's required reserves. You can find this by doing actual reserves minus required reserves, and that's how you get it. M1 is currency in the hands of the public and all checkable deposits. M2 is savings deposits, including money market deposit accounts, small-time deposits, which are $100,000 or less, and money market mutual funds. M3 is M2 plus large time deposits, which are $100,000 or more. The difference between fiscal and monetary policy. Fiscal policy decisions are determined by Congress, while monetary policy decisions are made by an individual agency of the federal government, referred to as the Federal Reserve. Federal funds rate. This is the interest rate banks charge one another on overnight loans made out of their excess reserves. This tool allows the Federal Reserve to affect the spending decisions of households and businesses. Alright guys, let's take a look at an example problem. In country A, the required reserve ratio is 10%. Assume that the central banks sell $50 million in government securities on the open market. A. Calculate each of the following. The total change in reserves in the banking system. Alright, so the total change in the reserves in the banking system is a decrease of $50 million because the Fed is selling their securities. So we're going to write down decrease $50 million. Alright, let's take a look at the second part of this. The maximum possible change in the money supply. So, to find the maximum possible change in the money supply, we're going to multiply 50 million by the money multiplier. To find the money multiplier, we're going to do 1 divided by 0.1, which is 10. And then we're going to multiply that by 50, which gives us $500 million. And that is the maximum possible change in the money supply. And there's also decreasing. Part B. Using a correctly labeled graph, show the impact of the central bank's bond sale on the nominal interest rate. Okay, so I've pre-drawn the graph. Make sure you get your axes right. This is interest rate, and this is the quantity of money. So we start out with the money supply, which is right here, and then you have the demand of money. So, since the money is decreasing, the money supply is decreasing, you're going to draw a line right here, and that's MS2. And then you're going to draw these lines to indicate where the interest rate is. So this is interest rate 1 and this is interest rate 2. The interest rate is going to go up since the money supply is decreasing. And that is our graph for part B. Now let's take a look at part C. What is the impact of the central bank's bond sale on the equilibrium price level in the short run? Well, since the money supply is decreasing, then the interest rate is going to go up. So let's write that down. Money supply is decreasing. So interest rate will increase in the short run. And that's how you solve this example.